So welcome back to my garage. This is Gamer Dom, and my journey down the Swedish line continues with me unlocking the tier 7 medium tank, the Leo. This is the last of the medium tanks on the Swedish line. We've come through the well let's start from the Lago, through the Steve 42, through the Steve 74, which is an excellent tank, onto the Leo. Then from here we go into the Emil and the Kranwagen. The Emil is the first of the heavy tanks. So take a look at the Leo itself. Oops. Go back into the garage for that. Module wise, it's a weird one because it gives you two 75mm, but you've got the top 75 already because it's the one on the Steve 74. So that's an odd thing to do. So we know from the Steve 74 it's a very effective gun, pretty accurate, and pretty good rate of fire and all that. A bit lackluster on penetration for a tier 7 tank. Bearing in mind a tier 7 will obviously see tier 9 games from time to time. So you do have the upgrade to the 100 centimeter or the 100mm, so the 10 centimeter gun, which is the top gun on this thing. You will need to unlock the tracks, however, to get that gun. You won't need to get the turret because obviously that leads into the Emil, so you will ultimately need to unlock the turret to get onto the Emil, but to start with, tracks, then you can get the top gun, and then you can worry about other things if you want to. Now I've used some free XP, I've unlocked the top gun and I've unlocked the tracks, but I haven't bothered with the top engine just yet, or certainly the top turret, so we'll play as it stands with those at the moment. So let's go and have a look at the some of the stats here. So first of all, the gun. Well, let's look at the two guns, the two viable options you have. So the 75mm, as I say, it's the same one as you get on the Steve 74. 12 rounds per minute, 148 penetration, 200 with APCR, and 38 with HE, but only 150 average damage. Which, yeah, 148 penetration at a tier 7 tank is not great, and 150 damage is certainly not great. So you're probably going to want to get off this gun pretty quickly. But it does have reasonable accuracy. 0.33 dispersion is pretty good, and the aim time of 1.8 is very good. So it does have some big advantages, because the trouble with the 10 centimeter, it's much slower, it's a lot bigger shell, so it's only 5 rounds per minute. Penetration doesn't go up that much, only 155 with standard rounds, and actually it drops with the APCR to 194 as opposed to 200. But where it does get is a whacking great slab of damage, 300 average damage, 410 with the HE. So yeah, it's a pretty pokey gun in terms of damage, but accuracy is not so great, 0.42, and aim time is also pretty tardy at 3. So you've got a big blasty gun, almost like a derp gun, you could almost go that far, with pretty poor accuracy, pretty poor penetration, but very, very good damage. So yeah, not so good. So looking at that with the top gun, even with this good crew I've got here, gives me an average damage per minute of 1,817, which is, yeah, it's pretty slim pickings really. For this is my girl Swedish crew. I've got 3, well, they're on their 3rd crew skill, and yeah, I'm only getting 1,800. So yeah, that's your limitation with the 10 centimeter. So let's go and have a look at this tank in Tanks GG and look at some of the stats that come up from it. Talked about the gun. Shell velocity of 785 is not great. Carries 35 rounds, which is alright. Top speed, as we know, is 60, which is very impressive. A reverse speed of 20 with the top engine, which has 500 horsepower engine, gives you 19.95 power to weight ratio, which is pretty reasonable. I know I bang on about the Leo having had really, really good power to weight. Well, it did. Still 19.9 is not that bad. In fact, let's just compare it with something that is pretty nimble itself. So the Comet, let's compare it with a Comet tier 7 British medium tank, and you can see here Comet is slower. It's slower in reverse. And the Comet is pretty nimble, and that has only a powder weight of 20.05. So it's only, what's that? Just beyond my maths, 0.1 difference in power to weight ratio. So that's pretty darn good. And actually, the Leo is better at tank traverse, so that it spins around much quicker. Terrain resistances on hard and medium are the same, but actually the Leo's better on soft ground by quite a bit, actually 0.63 as opposed to 0.82. So you know, that's pretty darn good. Let's get rid of that. So there we go. So yeah, all in all, the mobility of this thing is still pretty impressive, despite the nerf it had after the test server. So gun elevation is 15, gun depression of 10, which is in keeping with most of the Swedish tanks. Very good. Gun traverse of 33 is very good. Obviously it's a turret, so the turret 35.4 is extremely good as well. Armor is pretty rubbish. As we know, it's a Swedish tank, so it's 70 30 20, 70 30 20 on the turret, and track armor is 20 as well. So yeah, but we'll look at that a little bit more detail in a minute. In terms of view range, 370 is okay. Swedish tanks don't have very good view range, so you know, the 370 is actually pretty good for a Swedish tank, pretty rubbish for everybody else. So yeah. So let's take a look at the Leo's armor in Tanks GG, and it's actually, well, surprisingly good. That's probably an exaggeration, but bear in mind that most of the Swedish tanks have 0 armor. Leo does have a little bit. So it has a strip along the middle here, which is actually 70mm, but because it's angled, you can, let me just put that straight, there you go, 80. If I angle the tank slightly, get 90. So, you know, 96 there, if I over angle that way. So, you know, for Swedish, that's pretty good. Lower plate 75, it's actually 45, but because of the angling is 75. Upper plate is garbage. So, you know, you get shot in the top plate, it all goes horribly wrong for you. But you never know, you might bounce something here. This is the top turret, and the front of it is pretty good. Well, again, this is all relative. Swedish, pretty good. 70mm of armor there. Only, well, what's that? 57 around the gun mantle here, but effective armor of 140 as you go further down. So yeah, you may bounce the odd shot here, but unlikely, to be honest. So yeah, pretty rubbish. Side armor of the turret 31, side armor of the tank 30. So you know the story. This is Swedish, right? So no armor. 13 at the back of the engine compartment there. 13. Yeah. So 0 armor. Forget it. You ain't got no armor. Yeah, it's a well, I was going to say 4-man, but 4-person crew, given the fact we've got Swedish here, Swedish girls here. We've got a commander, we've got a gunner, a driver, and a loader. The shame is when you move on, you go down to a 3-man crew, and obviously then you have to retrain them to a heavy tank, whereas up to now, well, pretty much since very early on, they've been in medium tanks. So that's slightly frustrating, but what can you do? That's the way the Wargaming set up this. Now, equipment-wise, I've given this a rammer. Obviously, I've given it gun lane drive and also vents, and primarily that's to improve the aim time and the accuracy and the loading time on this 10cm gun, because it's pretty slow, as we saw. So yeah, let's take it out and see what we can do with it and see how we get on. So here we are on Mountain Pass. As you saw in the garage, I've unlocked the top gun, but I haven't got the top turret or the top engine. This is not an easy map to play on. I'm going to go down the 1-2 line, I think. So let's see what we can do with this. So bit slower away. AB13's away quicker than us. Trying to avoid the general melee that goes along around here. So we're doing 51. We haven't got the top engine, so you know, we'll have to see how long it takes to unlock that top engine. A load of enemy tanks coming down there. I'm going to ignore them for the moment. T-34 and an Su-85 coming this way by the look of it. Really like some help down here, guys. I'm not going to push too much further down here because we've got no support at all. That aim time, it's pretty horrible. Oof! I like that. Only did 25 actually in there. All type 60 T-34, you're in real trouble there, matey. Nice shot, 315 into the turret of the T-34. I'll take that any day. Ah, missed. Look at the accuracy there, that gun. Wow, that was terrible. Hit the rock. There is 2 enemy artillery in the game, so I do want to keep away from them. T-34 down. Wow. What's that just killed off? Can't get a shot on the Leo. So he's down. Good. Right. With a little bit, no, he's not down. He's dropping down now. Okay. Oh, don't drive it to a wall, Dom. That's pretty stupid. Right, let's you go. Good grief, the Leo and the... Oh my goodness, they're almost in our base. Gun on this thing is pretty pokey when it fires. They're almost in our base. We've got plenty of tanks back there though. Big problem here is there's 2 enemy tanks there. And the artillery are going to be overwatching. Come on, target, help me. Reload, reload. Get around behind him if I can. Reload is pretty slow on this thing. We're still alive. I have to go and help the other guys though. He's down. Shit, there's 3 of them in the cap. Someone reset. What was this? That's you down there, don't want to face him. It's getting close. There we go, it's down. Oh my goodness, they didn't reset it. You are kidding me. Oh my word. Oh, what a bitch of a game. Huh. Get rid of that. So it was defeat. 36%, yeah, felt, well, I don't know, it flattered at one point. Big dick, 5 for effect. What else? Oh, we got a Leo mission completed, so it gave us a camo net and a large repair kit, times 10. Okay, that's good. Shame we didn't win it. Finished top, 1407 damage, 3 kills for 366 base XP. I don't know how they couldn't get a reset there. Anyway, maybe I should have gone back. Probably should have gone back, but I thought there was enough tanks there to cover it. I really did. Fired 8 shots, hit with 7, penned with 7, so for that 1400 damage. Spotted 1 enemy, okay. 22,500, well, nearly 23,000 credits. 17.5 profit. 549 experience. So a bit of a shame there. That was a good game, really. Can't unlock anything more. So anyway, let's have another go, see what we can do with this thing. Okay, so Fiery Salient, it's a tier 8 game. I seem to have had an awful lot of tier 9 games in the few games I've played in the Leo. I honestly don't think I like it very much at the moment. It's not got anything special to recommend it. It's a nice alpha, but the penetration's so poor and the accuracy is so poor. You have to get right in the enemy's face to use the alpha, and of course the trouble with that is you've got no armour. So you do bounce a few shells off lower tier tanks, but upper tier, higher tier tanks, not really, not so much. Speed's okay. I haven't got the top engine, so maybe I'm not being terribly fair. But it just seems something or nothing, really. Something or nothing. I'm going to head up to the hill, try and use the mobility such that it is, speed such that it is, and see if we can get some shots down on anything trying to get into the cap. You see the speed's pretty decent. Lose a lot of acceleration coming up this hill, but then everything does. It's so steep, this hill. Scorpion's gone balls deep. Not sure I would have gone that far in, matey, but hey, each to their own. There's a big ass. Can't get a shot on him now. Okay, we'll move one down. Top of his turret is all I've got a shot of. I'm not going to be able to pen him from here. Yeah, bounced. Thought that would be the case. Loaded HE because it might at least do a bit of damage to him, maybe knock out a few modules. Right, he's down. Enemy Churchill down there. Quite sure how I managed to hit him, but I did. Go right back, try and there is one artillery. Churchill took a big hit there. Oh, there we go. Ah! I do not want to be hit by a KB2, thank you very much. Hide in the bush for a bit. I'm really using this as a glorified scout right now. He's down. Tried to track that fella, but no good. Oh, I'm going to get shot now. See the long aim time on that thing. And reload time. Did I miss him? Took him out even with the... Oh, thank you very much. Oh, for fuck's sake. You tosser. Ah. Ah, jeez. Block means I try to pull back. First decent, half decent game I've had in this tank, and I get blocked by some idiot here. Why do people do that? Come park right behind another tank. I just do not get it at all. Anyway, yeah, so I can't say I'm really enjoying the Leo at all. To me, it just doesn't have anything going for it. This guy now is parked in front of the OI. Oh ho. Yeah, it just doesn't really have anything going for it. It's got the gun is nice alpha, but in terms of aim time is terrible, accuracy is terrible, penetration is pretty poor. When you're having to resort to firing HE in tier 8 and tier 9 games, it's not a great thing. And it doesn't really have at least it used to have wonderful acceleration, which made it really fun to play with, because you could be a right nuisance, fly around all over the place, accelerate hard, get away from the enemy, and look at that, couldn't even hit that. We'll get killed by this SU. And that's what disappoints me really with it. I think it's a fabulous, it should be a fabulous fun tank to play, and it just doesn't seem to be. Just find it a little bit disappointing. Just nothing special about it at all. So anyway, what can you do? We'll come back and see the results. It looks like it's a win at least. So as predicted, that was a win. Nothing particularly spectacular. Middle of the pack, 664 damage, 1 kill, 521 base XP. Thanks very much, Mr. VK. No, he did. Oh, is it that VK? I think it was that one. Did absolutely nothing to help the game, and oh no, it was that one. It was. Look at that. Tier 8 tank did 338 damage and blocked me to get me killed. Yeah. 7 shots fired, hit with 6, penned with 5. Took 2 hits, both of which penned me. Well, Leo has no armour. 760 assistance only. I thought I would have done more there. 23,000 credits after costs, just shy of 13,000. And for my times 3, that gave me 2,346 experience. So, okay, caveat, I've only played 6 games, and caveat, I haven't unlocked the top gun, turret or engine on this thing, but I'm not impressed with it at all. Don't like it. Just doesn't offer anything particularly fantastic. I keep banging on about what it was like in the test server. Well, the test server, it was great because it had that acceleration, so you can whip out, fire your gun and get away again. This doesn't have that, and yeah, maybe it's going to be slightly better with the top engine, but it's only 50 horsepower extra. It's not massive. I've got a good crew in this thing. The gun is just depressingly average. in everything except for penetration, except for damage. Penetration is very, very poor. Gun handling is terrible. Alpha's very, very nice. And when you hit, it's pretty pokey. It's just when you hit, and you need to be fairly close, and this tank hasn't got any armor to be up close. So yeah, I won't be keeping this thing. It will be sold as soon as I can get away and on to the next, to the Emil. Yeah, a bit disappointed really. It's the only one I've really been bitterly disappointed in as I move through the Swedish medium line. I suppose you can't like them all, and I expect there'll be lots of people down below in the comments section saying, "Oh, you're an idiot, Dom. This is a fabulous tank. Really, really enjoy it." But you know, hey, I say it as I see it, and I don't like this tank very much. Just doesn't do a thing for me. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Let me know, have you played it? Do you like it? Am I an idiot? Well, you know, that's not mutually exclusive. I can be an idiot and you not have played it, of course. But what do you think about the Leo? Yeah, I don't know. I will persist, obviously, because I need to work my way through it. And you know, if I get a decent game, I'll let you know. But otherwise, that's my progress so far down the Swedish light, medium, and heavy line. Next up, the Emil 1, which I am looking forward to. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider giving it a like down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. In the meantime, enjoy your games, have fun. Remember, it is just a game, and try not to take it too seriously. And I'll see you again soon. Gamerdom out.